Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, as usual, before I begin with this lesson, I want to start it off by giving all the glory and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakah HaKadosh, double honor to the elders and the apostles who got millstone, who I'm taught, and do learn this truth 100% from. Peace and blessings be to all you Akim, Wathim, who are serving Yahweh Shemal Shah sincerity, hoping for mercy, as well as salvation in these latter days, man. To you I say Shalom, and Yahweh Shema Shah Brakathon. I was inspired to do this lesson from watching, I was watching a couple brothers' lessons. At first I was watching the brothers in the Kansas City camp. They had all did a live stream together, going into this, this war between America and Iran, and the whole boots on the ground invasion, ordeal, man. Right, and the point that it stood out to me that the brothers had made was that Trump going back to the 90s, which was way past, this was long before he had even became president. Right, in the 90s, he had stated that America was going to basically, perform an invasion, a boots on the ground invasion in Iran, or they had a possibility to do so at least. All right. And with that information being aired, Iran has already been said to been planning for a boots on the ground invasion for decades, man. All right. And the point that the Elder Mahalaya had made was that Trump, he had stated, that he wants to do an invasion, a ground invasion, whenever the conditions of the weather ease up a little bit, so to speak. All right, and with this draft coming up in December 2026, that's when the weather is gonna start easing up. All right, the temperatures is not gonna be so hot, because we know in Iran, it's a big ass desert. All right, it's the weather's harsh over there. The temperatures exceed well over 100 degrees over there. All right, so what better time to invade than during that time, and especially when you already enlist, right? It's going to be an automatic enlisting where people don't got to go sign up. They automatically going to enlist you from the ages, I believe it was 17 or 18 to 26, right? And the numbers even go up to, I believe, 50, man, right? In which is they going to have to, because I was watching this other video of this former Marine. He had mentioned that this ain't like how the Vietnam War was, man. Right, where people was willingly going and, signing up for the draft. Right, they can't just pull 500,000 troops up out of their ass that are willing to go and fight, man. Right, people now, Americans ain't trying to go over there and fight. All right, I got a couple of videos pulled up, if the spirit permits it, I'll play them. All right, but Americans don't want to go over there and fight, man. Right, and that's another point that I took from watching the Apostle Har's lesson. He was, I haven't really got too much through the lesson, but he had spoke on Jeremiah the 51st chapter, which is, I'm going to grab it. All right, because these Babylonians not trying to go fight, man. All right, Jake not trying to go fight, and these Edomites not trying to go fight. This is why you have top-ranking generals in the military. They either getting fired, all right, and also they quitting their jobs, man, because they don't want to go fight a war for these small heads, because this is what it all boils down to at the end of the day. And ultimately, it's really just prophecy, man. All right, it's prophecy that the least of the flock was going to dry out Babylon. All right, and there is going to be, a slaughtering in this war to come, man. All right, I believe it will be an invasion, but either way it go, right, all this tension is just going to lead up to all nations being gathered over there into that region to fight, man. All right, including Americans. All these little badass niggas and shit that's growing up, coming into age, military age, or the age to join the military and shit, you will be sent over there to fight. All right, it'll either be against your will, willingly or not. All right, you got a lot of people saying they'd rather take a prison sentence, but who's to say they won't just say fuck it? right? Because that's the easy way to go out, right? And Esau knows this, right? There's a lot of people coming out saying that they rather take a prison sentence. I think at first it was 3 years, right? But now it's 5 years, man. All right, and you got people saying that that's cake. It's whatever. All right, and Esau see that that's the spirit that most people are coming in. So who's to say that he ain't just gonna be like, fuck it. All right, if you don't go over there, then we just gonna put your ass to death. All right, because you're a traitor to your country. You know what I mean? All right, so there will be a mass slaughtering, right, in these times to come on American troops, man. All right, as the elder, was going to get into, Joel 2:20. All right, it says that your stink shall come up. You know what I mean? You already have, what they do is they suppress the numbers. They say that it's only, 6 Americans that have lost their lives. The whole time, the number is well over 500. All right, they're also suppressing the number of Americans that have been injured in the war, right, getting hit with drones. Right, you got U.S. embassies getting blown up. All right, you just had that one Issacharite, Eve. She went over there, and her ass ain't come back. All right, I've been seeing video servicing of, parents, receiving their children's coffins and shit. You know what I mean? And believe in me, the numbers is gonna continue to increase. All right, but it don't even compare to what this war is going to bring, man. All right, you got certain individuals that also say they willing to go over there just out of ignorance. But once you get sent over there, you're not going to come back. You know that Esau going to bribe you into, shit like, if you go over there, then we'll give you $150,000 bonus. All right, give you this, give you these type of benefits. All right, and niggas being niggas, you know that they going to take it. Right, they gonna take advantage of the so-called opportunity because niggas don't know what's going on, man. Right, this ain't gonna be. You're not gonna be able to tell a fantasy story to your grandchildren sometime in the future on how you went and fought in Third War and you came back, unscathed, or you seeing all type of shit. No, because once you get sent over there, you're not gonna come back, man. All right, this is the Lord leading the American. I'm going to say Babylon, Salaki, leading Babylon to the slaughter, man. All right. But I got this video on the play real quick.
Message for every single U.S. soldier who is being deployed to the Middle East to fight in Donald Trump's illegal and offensive war against Iran in the name of Israel. You're going to die. You are going to die. You're going to die in the desert like millions of men before you over the past millennia who also believed that they too would conquer Persia. Your rifle is going to end up scattered among the swords of Roman centurions and the bayonets of the Ottoman Empire, and you will not be remembered fondly. You will be remembered for the war crimes you commit.
And Salaki, something else that I took from the brothers in the Kansas City camp, the live stream that they went into, I think the brother's name is Uriah, right? But he looked up the geographical location of the ancient Carmanians, right? Which is, we know, the second as the 15th chapter speaks on the Carmanians, the raging Carmanians, which goes into the Iranians, right? And that region is around the Strait of Hormuz, man, right? So we see the Lord is stirring up, putting that spirit back in them, right? That wild boar-like spirit back in Ishmael, man. All right, this is why they fighting America back tooth and nail, and this shit is only just the beginning, man. This shit is only just the start. Even though this war has been going on since February 28th. All right, it's gonna escalate into something that's not gonna be able to return back, man. All right, and if you think that it has reached this point just to stop, now you out of your damn mind, man. Right? It came all the way to this point because there is no returning back, man. All right.
You will be remembered for the children that you slaughter, and you will be remembered for the orders that you chose to follow under a billionaire pedophile sex trafficking rapist. There's still time. There's still time for you to get that dishonorable discharge. There's still time for you to go home before your family is sent a casket from the Persian Gulf. Go home, GI. This ain't your war.
follow a chain of command that is
from this war, those ghouls.
Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your ineffectiveness as leaders. This is wrong.
All right, that are benefiting from the blood money of this war will tell you there is no young man of fighting age in this country that is trying to go to Iran to be boots on the ground to fight this war so that Israel can become more powerful and dominant in the Middle East.
rigorously authoritarian. I'm just going to go on record right now, even though I don't think it's going to come to all that. If for any reason I receive a letter in the mail telling me that I am being conscripted into the United States military, I will unalive myself. Like, there's no question. I will not fight for this country. And if...
I'm going to stop it there. All right. But even as you see, Americans, from Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, all the way up into these patriotic Edomites, all right, they're not willing to go and fight a war that truly is now caused by Babylon. Huh? All right, it's caused by the small hatters, but as I quoted, the least of the flock shall draw them out. All right, and they know this. All right, they know that they basically going over there to commit suicide, because that's essentially what you going over there to do, man. All right, it's a suicide mission if you get sent over there. All right, you basically committing suicide if you get sent over there to fight for them damn small hatters, man. All right, this is why so many people bucking up against this draft. All right, saying that they rather take the prison sentence. Even this this Edomite, he even talking about offing himself. He rather off himself, right, than to go over there to do that shit, because even these Edomites know that this shit is over with, man. All right, your country has basically been, you know what I'm saying, bought and paid for. All right, and there's no such thing as making it great again, man. All right, this shit is over with. All right, that's why I want to grab this scripture real quick. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah 51:30. I done seen the Apostle Hart bring this out, and of course, you know, when you watch the apostles, you learn something new every time you watch them. All right, this is the book of Jeremiah 50:31, and it reads, "Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud." Is it this one? Oh, it's 51, so like I'm in 50. Jeremiah 51:30, and it reads, "The mighty men of Babylon," right, which is going into, you know, the military men, the troops. All right, "The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight," right? And this is not something that, took place in ancient Babylon, because the ancient Babylonian men, right, the mighty men, they were willing to fight, right? So this was referring to the time that we're in now, man. Right, and this is why you have to understand that in one chapter, it can be speaking of two different time frames, man. It could be speaking in past tense, and it could be speaking in, the future. All right, it can be referring to the future. Like when you read in the book of, Revelations, the 9th chapter. All right, it speaks on, if I'm mistaken, it goes, is it Revelations 9? So like I'm thinking of another chapter. All right, but brothers get the point that I'm trying to make. All right, but it says, "The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might hath failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken." All right, which is America. All right, but forborne to fight. So let's look up the definition for that word forborne real quick. All right, because this is basically what we see essentially happening right now. All right. God damn. Motherfuckers want to text you when you start doing the lesson. To stop, cease. Right, leave undone. Right, to leave off, to come to an end. So you see that even, you know what I'm saying, the Marine dude who had spoke up how he ain't want to go and send his children, or he don't want to send American children over there to go fight for them small hatters, and he was getting escorted out by force. He ended up breaking his damn arm. Right, they broke that dude's arm. Right, but you see, it's a lot of more, I'm gonna say, Edomites too that's coming in that spirit. All right, you got Jakes too that's, you know, been in the, you know, these military branches, active duty. Right, like Nick Irvin. Nick Irvin is one of them. You know, he even spoke about how he'll never go over there and fight, you know what I'm saying, another war for America again, because essentially Babylon has been, you know, bought and paid for, man. All right, you're not going over there and fighting for a better cause, so to speak. You going over there and fighting for the elites, man. And you ultimately gonna go sacrifice yourself, because this is what it boils down to at the end of the day, man. All right, this is a great sacrifice for the elites, man. All right, for wealth and power. All right, which is also in the scriptures, because the Most High said that he was going to prepare a great sacrifice for the fowls of the air, man. All right, they were going to eat the flesh of kings, captains, you know, generals, so on, goats, bullocks, and so on and so forth, man. Right, which is going into these different generals, you know, these different commanders. All right, even all the way up to you women, because you women are not exempt. Shalaki, I got a call. But even all the way up to you women, because you women are not exempt from this draft, man. All right, you want to be a, you know, you want to, because the scriptures even goes into how, you know, the woman was basically going to surpass a man. You know, you want to be on the same level as a man. You think you equal. You know, you think that, you know, you can do the same, you know, physical deeds as a man. Okay, well, you going to get sent over there to fight. All right, they're going to have you put on their heavy-ass Kevlar armor, all right, and they're going to hand your ass, pass you a rifle, and tell you to get out there and go get your head blown off, because that's exactly what's going to happen, man. All right, you know, dude was mentioning how you going to go over there and you basically going to be buried with all the, you know what I'm saying, the ancient, you know, the ancient troops who went over there to fight. All right, because they thought that they can conquer Persia, and this is not what this is about, man. All right, this is ultimately about prophecy. The Most High is stirring up these nations, man, right, to fulfill prophecy, despite what they say is going on these, you know, on the outside, man, so to speak. All right, but I got one more scripture that I want to pull, all right, which is Joel 2:20, because a lot of brothers, you know, as the Apostle Hart say, things getting hot, man. Joel 2:20 speaking. And ultimately, it's going to lead up, you know what I'm saying, to this, you know what I'm saying, the war of Armageddon, where all these nations, you know what I'm saying, essentially gather together to go over there and fight and purge each other off, man. All right. Joel 2:20, but I will remove far from you the northern army, all right, which is the North American army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, right, which is the Caspian Sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea, which is the Persian Gulf. Right, you can actually look up the map over there, you know, in that region, right, and it'll, you know, show you, you know, the, you know what I'm saying, the geography of that area. All right. This is where the Lord is going to drive them to go over there and fight, man. All right. This is why the tension is over there. All right. Because that's ultimately where the Lord is going to gather everybody at, man. Right. To have them purge each other off. It says, and his and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things, meaning that you're going to get over there. All right. And there's no such thing as coming back. All right. You ain't going to come back, you know, and rebuild your life again, man. All right, you ain't gonna be able to tell the same stories that your, you know, granddaddy told you about. You know what I mean? The shit that he is, it ain't gonna be none of that, man. All right, once you get shipped over there, all right, you would basically committed suicide, man. All right, you better off on yourself. All right. So with that being said, I did prove the point, and that this lesson was edifying. So with that being said, Shalom, Yahabah Shema Shah Brakathan, Mabah, Until next time, Shalom.